You're tuned into Buzzin exclusively here on Grammy Pro. I'm your host, DJ Moonbaby, here with Miss Tina Davis. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today here at the Artform Studios.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. I love this place. I was trying to figure out if it was a hair salon, a record store, what it is. It seems to be a little bit of everything. I love that vibe in here.
So, Tina, thank you for being here. I've, followed you for a really long time, and you're a very successful executive in this music industry.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to be talking to you today here on Grammy Pro. And I just want to talk to you about, your history in the business, where it all started. I guess first was Chrysalis for you, publishing?
Yes, Chrysalis. I was there for a year, actually. I worked for a friend of mine, LaRonda Sutton. Mm-hmm. And I did it for about a year. And we knew then, we were friends from high school, so we knew then, okay, after about a year, you're going to have to find somewhere else to work, because we're not going to be friends after this. And lo and behold, we were at each other's throats, and I left to go to Def Jam.
And you spent 10 good years at Def Jam.
10 good years. With a little break, and I went to Columbia for like 7 months and went right back to Def Jam.
You went right back where you started.
Oh, yeah.
And you were A&R there.
Yes. I started off A&R administration and a little internship with A&R department. And I then started running Def Jam on the West Coast. And then I moved to New York to run the A&R department.
And you work with a lot of the big names like Method Man, Redman,
yes,
in their big heyday of the hip-hop era.
Foxy and Scarface and Jay and all of them, yes. It was a big roster. We had a very large roster.
You did?
Yeah, we put out at least 20 to 30 records a year.
A year? Mm-hmm. And you oversaw most of those projects?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot to deal with. But a lot of fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. You don't take classes to prepare you for things like that.
No.
But it is a class when you're doing it.
It is. The music industry is, some survive, some don't. But
yes, this is true.
You've been here for a long time standing, so you must have a secret.
Ah, well, I don't know if it's a secret or a blessing. I think it's a blessing.
I think so, too.
Mm-hmm.
So creating this music in this hip-hop era, were there a lot of challenges? What was it like working at that particular time? Because I know the music industry has changed tremendously from that time to now.
Well, different things were challenges. One, being a woman in a male-dominated career, it was just, you had to win the support of the guys, and a lot of times I was like the baby sister or the cousin, but for the most part the challenges were just trying to always be ahead of the game and continue to be the purveyors of taste. At that time Def Jam really ran everything, so it was very hard to make sure that you were just always on it. Mm-hmm. And always ahead of it. It was a lot to be on, and we never slept. I burned the candle at both ends. That was very hard.
Who was the owner? Was Russell still the owner at
Russell
that time?
was still the owner with Leor Cohen, yeah. Wow. Leor was in the office every day with that whip.
Those are some big bosses to work for.
Oh, yeah. They were sweet, though. They were really nice. Russell actually was the person that allowed me or taught me how to get money out of his own company for raises.
Really?
Yeah, he would tell me what to do every time. I'm like, Russell, I need more money. He's like, okay, this is what you do. You go get a contract from another company and then throw it on Leor's desk and say, just like this, well, what do you want me to do? I said, really? He said, yeah, do that. So I did it. And it worked.
Let me take some notes. No, so if you're listening and you're trying to move up the ladder, here we go,
That's
here.
what Russell said now. I don't know if it works everywhere else now.
Uncle Rush, whatever he says goes. No, that's great. So you did that for 10 years, and you left there. It was time to move on into a new venture, in which you did with one of the biggest R&B pop stars of our time right now, by the name of Chris Brown, who you discovered. Mm-hmm. And how did this discovery happen?
Well, when I was working at Def Jam, there was a transition. There were an old regime, which was my old regime, leaving, and the new regime with L.A. Reid and a few others were coming in. So, when you're doing that, you get a chance to meet the new team, but you still have to sort of work because you're probably on your way out because they usually get rid of everyone. So in that time, I brought Neo in, and LA told me, okay, now I need someone a little younger that can dance and has a different voice. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I have this kid, but I didn't really want to give it to him because I wanted to be able to take it somewhere else if I were to leave. And it just so happened that I said, you know what, let me just take it to LA because LA would probably be one of the best to work with him. And when I did that, LA wanted to sign him, and right before he signed, they let go of me.
Wow.
And that was on a Friday. So by Saturday, Chris and his mom were on the phone asking me to manage him. So I did that for 10 years. It was obviously a lot of work, a lot of fun. I learned a lot, but Def Jam prepared me for all the things that I did in that 10 years with Chris.
I mean, pretty much you built a lot of the career over the last 10 years and managed
yeah.
where he is today.
Oh, yeah.
You were behind the scenes, doing that.
I like to call it Olivia Pope.
Yeah,
it was Olivia
you
Pope.
You were to the rescue at all times. So he was about 15, 16 when
I
signed
met him, he was 13, going on 14, and when I signed him, he was 15, and we put a single out, he was going on 16.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw him was at a Jive showcase I think Barry Weiss was having in Santa Monica, and he was flipping across the stage and doing all this acrobatic stuff, and I just never knew that this was going to be the end result of where he is today. Because you go to a lot of showcases. I mean, I knew he was extremely talented, but just to know that he would be as big as he is, I think a lot of that is your team and, management and just having a vision for the artists to be able to take them to that level.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented kids and people out, and it takes a lot of direction. You have to know, how to nurture it and do artist development, because I would have him in rooms for hours, like, okay, I need you to write, I'm gonna give you these tracks, I just need you to write songs to them. And some of them weren't great, but it just helped him to just hone in on his skills. So writing, whether it was drawing or writing his own treatments, he wrote every treatment to every video he ever shot. And still to this day, now he directs them.
Wow.
So, it was just to prepare for now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, artist development is a lost art, with labels. And I think that is an important component to longevity in the business and being able to evolve with the times and reinvent yourself. And if you're manufactured a certain way, you probably don't have much room to expand from that. So
yeah, they call some of the television shows, which I think are incredible, but they call a lot of them sort of like a microwave.
Microwave popcorn. That's
microwave
what I call
popcorn.
it. It's disposable.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
never
timeless.
know. And it makes you wonder why, out of all this talent, every single artist that's on there is not as big as a Carrie Underwood or a Kelly Clarkson.
Right.
They're the only two that really can tour on their own.
Right.
So.
I mean, it's definitely, something I think someone as yourself is important to have behind you in order to have that type of longevity. So luckily you have that type of vision and eye for the talent. And I know now you've moved on from Chris.
Yes.
And you've started managing other artists.
Yes.
And you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I have some great artists. I have Sevyn Streeter. She signed to Epic. Signed to Atlantic, and she put an EP out. Now she's getting ready to put her album out, and we're excited about that. She's been writing for a long time. She was in 2 groups prior to getting signed solo. She signed through Chris, and overall, just as a person, outside of the fact that she can sing her behind off, but outside of that, she is just a beautiful person inside and out. And I'm fortunate to have talent that I work with that's like that. Another, which John Lindahl, beautiful person, but extremely talented, plays several instruments and dances his behind off. So we're nurturing and doing artist development on all of them and get them ready. And another young lady by the name of Karina Pasian.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been around for a minute.
I remember Karina.
You remember Karina?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's classically trained in piano and vocally, and she's from Washington Heights, and just an incredible talent. She was Grammy nominated, had a Grammy nominated album.
So we're working on her.
16 at War was her first single.
Yeah.
You have a good memory.
I don't know. I do. I'm a DJ. I don't know. It works out
exactly.
for me. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you look for when you're looking to manage and work with the artists? I mean, like you said, there's so many talented people out there that can sing or, have a great voice, but what is it that makes you zone in and want to develop and work with someone?
You know what? I have to be inspired. I was telling somebody that the other day. I get approached a lot about artists, and if I'm not inspired, I can't come up with ideas. I can't direct you which way to go or tell you what my vision is. I like to be able to have that vision, to be able to explain to you or to an artist exactly why things are happening and where things will go and moving forward. And if I'm not inspired, I can't really do that. So I have to be able to feel them out, vibe with their music. And if I do that, then usually that's a great sign. Now, I also have to be able to see that they have showmanship. and they have a presence about them. You know when you feel it, when they walk in the room.
It's the it factor.
It's the it factor. And people call it, and it's hard to actually say what it is. It's not tangible, but you feel it. It's an aura that they have. And you're like, okay, I don't know what's getting ready to happen. Like when you said you saw Chris, you're like, he's talented. I don't know what this is going to be, but he's talented. You feel it, you know? So.
And you have that eye to spot it. So.
Thank God. Yeah. Well, I've been doing it for a minute, so I would hope that my eye stays sharp.
Right. You're going to need some laser
glasses
surgery
on
to
right now.
keep
I'm trying to make sure.
So what's in the future for you? I know you have the artist, but is there anything else you want to tackle in your career that you haven't yet?
Well, you know, I love television, so I'm dabbing in television. I'm not going to expand too far on it, but I've been doing a couple of different things with Bunham and Murray and a few other writers. So that'll come down down the line, down the pike. But that's mainly I'm focused on my talent. I love to see them start from the beginning and just grow into what they're going to be. That blossoming flower that turns into this superstar that all the girls are going crazy over, and the Grammys are calling me to get them on the show. That's what I want.
So I just want to backtrack. When you were younger, did you foresee this type of career for yourself? Is this where you knew, like, I want to be in the music business and I'm going to be successful? Like, is this where you wanted to go?
You want the short story or the long story? No.
Whatever you want to tell.
Well, you know, it's funny because I think when you grow up and you look back at why you do what you do, that's when you realize that it was always your path. And I think I was maybe about 30, 32, and I look back and said, now what made me get to this point? What, out of all the things I could be doing for a living, why am I in the music industry? And I realized, you know, when I was in the 3rd grade, I used to give concerts at recess and sing all my mother's songs and my father's favorite songs, LTD and whomever else, Emotions. And
so you were singing?
I thought I was singing it. I led the whole group, every song. Mind you, I sang everything.
You could hold a little tune?
No, I didn't say that. I said I thought I was singing.
All right.
Then I played classical piano for 8 years and then danced, you know, for the local rappers and artists around the Bay Area. And when I was 13, I realized that I really, after watching Crush Groove and all these other movies, I really wanted to work for Russell Simmons and work for Def Jam. And that was my love, just hip-hop and Russell. And it just, ironically, it turned out.
It wasn't ironic.
I heard my prayers.
Right.
So,
prayers were answered.
Yeah, I always wanted to do A&R too. So I was able to reach my goals, and I'm very happy about that.
Well, I'm glad it all happened for you.
Thank
and really,
you.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and I know there's a lot more in store, and we'll definitely have you back once your new endeavors blossom.
Please.
And you'll come back and tell us all about it.
Yes, of course I will. Of course, anytime for you.
All right, great. Well, thanks for coming on. This is another edition of Buzzin' here with Tina Davis on Grammy Pro at the Art Form Studio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time.